Steve, my good man, how the devil are you?
I'm very well, buddy. How are you?
I'm very good, my friend. It's been quite a hectic week. I haven't had much time to sit down, so I was quite delayed in getting all of the notes together for the show, but we're there now. We're all sorted.
That's it. We're here. It's fine.
We made it. At least by 9 o'clock on a Tuesday, everything was done.
Yeah. I actually managed to do some notes this week, which is one-off.
Happy days.
Yeah, so we're here. We're all good.
Yeah, that's exactly it. How's your week been?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Little trip to the dentist was no fun, but, you know.
When is it ever, though, to be fair?
I quite like the dentist.
Do you?
I like the clean feeling when you come out.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I like that. I like going there and like, shine me up.
Just come out and smile at people and just the sunlight glinting off your teeth.
That's it with teeth, diamonds, you know.
Getting your gold grills in.
Yeah. Get a diamond tester on there. Ding. No, little trip to the dentist. That's been about it, really, mate.
Yeah.
Very subdued weekend. Enzo started football again.
Oh, okay.
In the frost, which is fucking freezing.
Yeah, that's fair. Did you go and watch?
Yeah, we took Brody.
Oh, that's very good of you. I'd have been like, fuck that, you can go, mate, I'm sitting in the car.
Nah, we like to encourage. It's a good way of getting them both outside at the same
That's
time.
fair.
And Brody loves it, because he'll just charge on the field, nick a football and fuck off around. This week, he was just more intrigued by the white stuff on the floor.
He's like, what's this? Why is it so cold?
Yeah, just kept picking bits up, squeezing it till it melted, and then be like, oh, I'm wet. And then just hold his arm up like, oh.
He's like, where'd my frost go? Someone stole it.
And he realised this bit over there. He's like, great, let's go that way. Yeah.
That's great. My brother goes to football with his kids quite a lot. You can't believe I've only had like 3 swigs of beer there and just completely unable to talk all of a sudden.
It's got nothing to do with that bottle of booze that you polished off a little while ago.
Oh yeah, I did finish off the remainder of that nice sugarcane alcohol. Yeah, okay, so it is more than 3 swigs of beer, isn't it? Okay, fair enough. Maybe it is the alcohol that made me lose my words then.
You're a seasoned drinker now though, Jim.
Yeah, I've built a bit of a reputation that I didn't really know I had.
Really?
Yeah. Like every time I go around to see family and stuff, I went round house sat for my dad at the weekend, and he's like, there's plenty of beer in the fridge for you, Tim. I know you like a drink. Oh, thanks. Whenever I go see my mum, she's like, we got the beer in for you. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm building a reputation here.
Sheeran's a pub.
Well, quite, exactly.
It's got the beers in for you. Shit. That's a habit.
But yeah, my brother was going to football with his kids, and my brother got yellow carded by the referee the other day.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't know this was a thing, but he told me about it. I was like, you got yellow carded?
Yeah, you can do.
He's like, yeah, do you want to see it? And it's a yellow card that the ref gives out to parents, which is this: referees don't get paid. They may not have seen the incident, and it's the whole list of reasons, which is AKA stop being a dick.
Yeah.
Which really pleased me, because I was like, you are a bit of a twat though most of the time, to be fair.
Like it. I love it. I go and watch Sarah all the time, and people get so passionate, especially at grassroots football.
Yeah.
And like kids, dads, mums, relatives that are there, my God, do they take it seriously.
And everyone's a fucking expert.
Yeah. Oh, God, you are a proper seasoned journo football analytic professional who has, 50 years on the pitch experience.
Yeah.
And you could do everything better than those little bastards.
Yeah.
My mum lives right behind a footy field. We hear them over there sometimes. And they're screaming and raging. They're swearing as well. You're just like, these are little kids.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Yeah. It's the same as the pageant mums or the racing dads, isn't it? It's this really toxic environment where parents get really involved in this kid's sport. And I'm sure it ruins the sport for the kids.
I'm pretty sure it does. The pressure.
Yeah, but if I was doing that and like my dad's fucking mouthing off at everyone else's parents and at the referee and all the kids, I'm like, I don't want to go do this. It's embarrassing.
Yeah,
like, you're just embarrassing me. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go. I'd be like, no, I ain't go because you're a cock.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I'd be.
Yeah, I know. Like, if I ever got the opportunity to take these two racing and get them into it, yes, I'd pursue it for them, certainly. Sort of thing, because it would be a hell of a future for them. But at the end of the day, if they came off and were like, no, I really don't want to do this, all right, I might take them back once, and just see how they get on. But if they keep coming back, I wouldn't push.
No, exactly. It's just not worth it, is it? And even if they are there and they're enjoying themselves, it is just this, like with football a lot of the time, it's just a casual thing to, go out, interact with other kids, just have a bit of a kick about, have a laugh, get some running in, be outdoors for a bit. Like, it's just mortifying that parents get so into it and are just such dicks about it.
It is crazy. It almost becomes more about the parents than the kids.
Certainly. That's how it feels a lot of the time.
Yeah. It's like a competition between you see it often when you take the kids to school. the little gaggles of mums and dads.
Oh, there is nothing I hate more than the school playground.
I fucking love it.
When I used to go pick up my siblings and stuff from school a lot, so I'd turn up at like anywhere from like 15 up to about 20 pretty much. I'd just go every now and again, a couple of days a week, I'd go pick my siblings up if need be. And you just walk in and there's almost like, you know when you walk into a pub and everyone just stops and looks at you?
Yeah,
it felt like that sometimes walking onto the playground where all the parents are just staring in their various gangs. And it's so funny because it's much like Mean Girls. You can look at them all and you're like, it's the cliques. These are the same cliques that were at school. These are the cool kids that were at school, that were dicks at school and are dicks now. These were the sporty ones at school that were quite quiet and a bit weird but sporty. That's fine, leave them to it. There's the nerdy group. Like, it's the same groups that were at high school, and it hasn't changed at all.
No. One of my favourite things to do is, like, if we go pick the kids up or take them to school, you just walk past one of these gaggles and you just say loud enough, "Hear about George." Just as you're going past, and you watch them all turn. What, gossip?
Yeah.
Gossip. What's George done? Yeah. There is no fucking George. I just wanted to wind you up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, none of us know a George.
Yeah. You watch them all turn. George, what's George done? All of a sudden, George comes out of school. What have you done?
Yeah.
Shit. Sorry, mate.
Poor little George over there, just getting hiding.
Sorry, bud. Not really.
Anyway, Steve. That's enough of our chatting about school cliques and what's been going on with football at the weekend. Shall we dive into the show? Because we have MotoGP news to cover.
We do, mate.
It's coming now, isn't it? The MotoGP news is starting to roll accelerate.
Yeah, there's some really cool countdowns going on social media. Like, they were clicking down the days to go, but in racing numbers.
Oh, I like that a lot. Yeah. It happens every year.
Yeah, it started again, and everyone's just started getting excited. We've had team launches now.
Yes.
Everyone's started. What they're doing on social media is starting to slow down. So you get the idea they're just chilling a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's coming, mate. It's coming.
And it's funny, isn't it? Because while the social media is slowing down a little, while everyone's getting really ready, all of the news outlets now are starting to produce more and more content. Yeah,
we said just before we started recording, didn't we? How all of a sudden today/yesterday, so Sunday, Monday, everything, all the producers out there have just suddenly released a lot of content.
Yeah, certainly.
Just in preparation for the year to just draw people back to them.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's like just your signal. The checkered flag is about to be waved.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a big fan of the race, as you know. I love the race's content, and I use it for a lot of my Formula One news as well as MotoGP news. And over the off season, it was just Formula One. It was all Formula One because obviously with the controversy and stuff of how that Formula One season ended, so it was just constantly that. And then now, the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's been maybe 2 pieces a day of MotoGP news that's been coming out on there, which has been fun. Yeah,
we know there's a lot of them that produce or add to are part of the race, so they've got a big group of people that are involved in that.
Yeah, tons of freelancers I think that work for the race.
I think it's a big conglomerate of people. But yeah, all of a sudden there's a lot of content coming out of those guys. Not just them, all the others as well. So it's about to explode. It's coming.
Yeah, exactly. It's coming. It's not that far. Have you got the countdown, Steve?
I haven't got a countdown. No. It's, what are we now? We are the 25th of January. And it kicks off on first weekend in March.
Is it that first weekend, is it?
Yeah.
I've just Google is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Google's amazing.
How many days until MotoGP starts? 40 days.
Nice.
How exciting, eh? That's Darren Binder's number there. There we go for the racing numbers thing.
Binder.
Right, Steve.
Should
we dive in?
Let's do it.
Good stuff. I'm Tim. He's Steve, and this is for the love of MotoGP. Before we get started properly this week, Steve, we do have a correction corner.
We do.
Hey!
Finally.
So, fire the jingle.
Correction corner.
And I guess this week, Steve, it's not really a correction, more an addition to the show. You and I were chatting, was it last week or the week before? We were chatting about
the week before.
Road racing in the UK.
Yeah.
And we were questioning I was questioning whether there was actually any road races in the UK, being, the United Kingdoms of Scotland, England, Wales and Northern Ireland. Because obviously we know there's loads in Ireland, we know the Isle of Man.
There's a lot in Ireland.
But we weren't sure too much about other races in the UK. So both Callum and Jason got in touch via Facebook to let us know that there are, in fact, road races within the UK. There's in Northern Ireland, there's the Northwest 200, which is near Giant's Causeway, and there's the Ulster GP near Belfast.
Yep.
You also mentioned, Steve, something about Oliver's Mount in that show, but we weren't actually sure where Oliver's Mount was.
I knew it was on the East Coast somewhere.
Okay.
I can't remember what it said, whether it was Scarborough or Scunthorpe, but it's East Coast.
Yeah, so it turns out it is Scarborough, so it is the East Coast. And they have 3 road races a year there, pretty much. Up until very recently, they had the Cock of the North, which it looks like has been cancelled, that series now. It seems
to have stopped.
I think their last outing was 2017,
yep.
And they haven't been back since, or it just hasn't run since. But they also have the Gold Cup and the Barry Sheene Classic, both of which have been running. Obviously cancelled, I believe, in 2020, but ran last year, and continue to run into the future.
Yep.
So there is road racing within the UK. I know a while ago there was a proposed Great Yarmouth road race, which is quite close to us.
Yeah, I remember reading something about that, but nothing ever came about. I think just the general organisation and I guess what you would need road safety wise, because some of the roads around here are shocking.
Yeah, exactly.
They are absolutely. It's bad enough in a car. I would not want to hit one at the speed on a bike,
quite
pothole or anything. And then plus the fact there'd be some dithering old deer pull out of a driveway.
100%, you know there would. Oh, I didn't know the roads were closed today.
Yeah, well, these cones. I'll just move these cones.
So I've worked previously as a steward for marathons and half marathons and stuff, and we've been to towns that we've had to close the entire town, close all the roads and things. Yeah. And for the weeks running up to it, people are getting leaflets through their doors. Like, the roads will be closed on this day. None of the fuckers ever read the leaflets, obviously. God, no. So they pull up to these cones to people in high vis, and we're like, we need to get out. You're like, oh, I'm sorry, mate, the road's closed for the next 3 hours. What do you mean the road's closed for 3 hours? Well, you had a thing through your letterbox. Well, I just chucked down a bin, I didn't read it. You're like, well, that's maybe your fault at this point. I'm sorry, my friend.
Fuck off.
But we've had, like, doing that, you have people literally drive into you. I had a BMW X5 just drive into me and be like, get out of the way, I'm just coming at you. He didn't hit me hard or fast, but he pushed me out of the way with his car. I was like, what a prick. So I had, thankfully, had my big pair of gloves on that had like big metal catches, so I just ran that down the side of his car as he just drove past me. I was like, thank you. That left a good scratch. He then came back later that day. I was like, you scratched my car. I was like, I think you find you drove into me. I was like, we can talk to the police about this if you like. There's CCTV everywhere. And he was like, I'm going home now.
Good, fuck you.
But we've had stewards at these events that have literally like broken legs and stuff, and people just properly driving at them, just smashing through them.
Fuck.
So people don't like it when you tell them the road's closed.
No, you disrupt people's lives. They don't like it.
No, exactly. Like, it's 3 hours. What can you if you tell me right now, you know, you're having a heart attack, your wife's giving birth, like you need to get to hospital, I'm going to let you through. And I'm going to get on the radio and I'm going to clear the road for you. But if you're just going to be a dick because you need to go shopping, you can wait 3 hours.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, that was a bit of a side tangent.
Well. Wouldn't be us without a side tangent.
No, it wouldn't be us without a side tangent, Steve. But yes, so it turns out there are, in fact, road races within the UK. The Northwest 200, there's the Ulster GP, and then there's the events up at Oliver's Mount.
Absolutely.
There's probably more in Northern Ireland as well, now I think about it.
I think there is more in Northern Ireland, but, you know, without diving right into it.
Yeah, I've never been huge on road racing, man. I like it. It's quite exciting to watch, and I love watching the Isle of Man TT. But then part of me is always watching it expecting to see someone die, and I don't really enjoy that element of it too much.
It scares me quite a bit.
Like, close racing on those circuits is scary. It's not like the adrenaline-pumping close racing you see on short-circuit racing, like with MotoGP and stuff, because we all kind of know while you can still get very seriously hurt and lose your life in Premier Class racing, as we've seen over and over again, it's less likely because the tracks are kind of built to be safe for crashing, as safe as they possibly can be. Roads ain't built like that. Roads are scary, scary places, man.
No. For anyone that's not seen any footage of like the Isle of Man TT, get on YouTube and look it up. Some of the, like, where they ride is just nuts. I mean, these guys are rubbing shoulders on cobble walls.
Yeah, it's terrible. And like, there's moments where they're tipping into like tight left-handers, and they have to sit up to get past the lamppost. Yeah, and then they're tipping in again.
It is just absolutely insane. Yeah. These guys have got bigger balls than anyone I've ever met.
Oh, it's madness. Like, one really good example, I think, of what can go wrong very badly. It was actually covered quite well in the Closer to the Edge TT film. Yeah. I think 2011, 2013.
Something along that line,
like that, which made Guy Martin as famous as he is now. that kind of covered some of the crashes and stuff. I think the Connor Cummings crash is in that too.
Yeah, where he goes off the side of the mountain.
Which is a terrifying crash. Yeah. Terrifying. That's one of the scariest crashes I've ever seen, that Connor Cummings one. And he's fine. He's racing now.
Yeah, he's back on it.
I saw him at Motorcycle Live, I think, in Birmingham. I saw a speech by him, like a talk by him, and he was just talking about that. And it was scary stuff, man.
Yeah. We ride bikes. We watch these guys crash in the GP. They generally slide off. They flip. They hobble away. Sometimes break a leg. Collarbone.
You see them slide for hundreds of meters. Yeah. Like try sliding 100 meters down a road. You're not getting 100 meters straight line without anything.
You would wipe out.
Exactly.
If you have a high side, you're sitting in someone's garden.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Isn't it? Best case scenario is you land on somemene's car roof on their drive or something.
Yeah. You flip it at someone's garden. You're going to get Deirdre coming out with a broom because you landed on a dahlias. What are you doing in my garden?
Bloody Deirdre every time.
Okay.
That's the end of Correction Corner, Steve.
It is. We're here. We've been there.
We're coming back. But we're coming back, Steve, via the world of Manscaped.
Nice.
So, Happy New Year from our friends over at Manscaped. The ball has officially dropped, but that does not mean you have to drop the ball on your balls. Every time I read that, Steve, I think how painful that sounds.
I would not want to drop anything on my balls.
No, nothing, mate. Not even a balloon.
No, that little trimmer is for a little thing. I dropped it the other day.
Oh, there's some heft behind it.
There is some heft behind it.
You know when it hits you on the foot, you're like,
It landed right on my toes, right in the middle. I couldn't swear because I knew the kids were upstairs.
Yeah,
but it's one of those where you're holding it in like.
And then it's just buzzing around in the bottom of the bath, being all loud,
whacking around. Enzo comes in. What's that, Daddy? Nothing.
So it's time to bring sexy back in 2022 and step up your game with Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped to help them ring in the new year with the right tools for the job. Go to manscaped.com and use code MotoGP for 20% off and free shipping. It's a new year, new you, and new you means no pubes. So it's time to ramp up the exercises and grooming routine this year for maximum gains. A six-pack is a great New Year's resolution. Every time this creeps me out. But how about a six-pack for your balls? The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 contains 6 essential tools for the ultimate below-the-waist grooming routine. Inside, you'll find the signature Lawnmower 4.0. This electric trimmer is designed to trim hair on loose skin. The advanced skin-safe technology reduces cuts and nicks on your delicate nuts. It also comes equipped with an LED spotlight to help you shine a light to the promised land in 2022. Very handy indeed. The pack also comes with the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant and Moisturiser, which, as we've said in previous shows, Steve, has become part of our daily routine now.
It's literally set in stone now. It's up, wash, do the nuts.
Exactly.
We're away.
I'm more likely to moisturise my testicles than my face at this point in my life, which is a point I'd never thought I'd reach.
No, I am pretty much the same. These cheeks do not get any moisturiser. The balls get some love.
My face is all dry and windswept and crusty, but my testicles smooth.
Excellent, mate.
I've lost where I am in the bullet points now, Steve. The Crop Reviver Ball Toner Spray as well. Here you go. This is the on-the-go freshness. This is for when you're leaving the gym, for when you're feeling a bit sweaty. Just throw it, or maybe you're about to get lucky. You just throw it on down there and, let the wonderful smells waft around the nostrils of everyone you're with at the time. It's a real treat. Although I guess if you're about to get lucky, you don't put too much on because it does taste funky. It does taste like soap, to be fair. Not funky, but no one wants soap taste.
No.
So, guys, start the new year with a fresh set of testes thanks to Manscaped. They even throw in their shed travel bag to keep all your goodies stored comfortably. This is the bag that Steve and I have raved about before. It's wonderful. I really like it. It makes me feel like a sophisticated, grown-up, manly human being.
It's a nice bag, and it's formed part. I keep a lot more stuff in there now.
I keep nearly all my toiletries in there now.
Toothpaste in there, the lot is all spending a bit of time with the pubes.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever I'm going anywhere, I'm just like pulling pubes out my toothbrush. I'm like,
pretty much.
God, every time. And not only do you get the shed travel bag, but Manscaped also throw in their anti-chafing boxer briefs.
Comfy as.
They are really nice.
Yeah,
they're nice. They're tight. Order a size up, but they're nice.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get another pair now. I've sort of worn these a lot.
Oh, have you? They're just part of my general rotation. So I often, if I know I'm going hiking or something, I'm like, I'm going to treat myself to the Manscaped boxers today.
They're really comfy at work because they're so snug.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I have to kneel a lot and get in all stupid bloody positions on these boats. I'm like, Yes, you just don't know you got them on.
Yeah, and that's really the thing, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. So, guys, if you want any of these products or anything else from Manscaped, you can get 20% off and free shipping when you use the code MotoGP at manscaped.com. You've just got to pop that in at checkout, guys, and that'll come up. So that's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code MotoGP. Have no regrets this year with our friends at Manscaped. Steve, then, the news.
The news, buddy.
So let's start at the top here, Steve. We've got a few things listed, and we'll just go through them. And we'll start straight away with the most recent team launch.
Hi.
This is the WithU Yamaha team launch. It took place yesterday at time of recording, which was Monday 24th. But I guess if you're listening at release, it was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And it was in Verona's Philharmonic Theatre. Now, this was a classy spot.
This I really liked.
Yeah, it was nice, man.
I really did dig this. I was like, after last year's stuff, I sat there and was like, oh, please, have listened, done something.
Yeah, exactly. Let's make it an event.
Yeah, and they pulled this out. I saw the backdrop. I was like, well, holy shit.
Yeah, see, I knew it was on Monday, but I wasn't really sure what time. So I hadn't really thought about it. I was like, I'll just watch it on YouTube later or whatever. And I turned my computer on. I was like, I'll see what time it is on MotoGP.com, as you do. I was like, oh shit, it's literally now. Okay, go. So I started watching it, and I started about halfway through, and it was just this huge theatre. There's opera singers. There's like all of the team there. Everyone's knocking back champagne. I was like, this looks like a fucking party. This looks like number 10 down the street at the moment, mate.
West Morris.
Yeah, exactly. Just a banging party, and it looked fun. I think it had an epic feel to it, but I imagine because the whole theatre was empty, it must have been a bit awkward being on stage. Like, I think I'd feel a bit weirded out by the fact that I've sort of got to pretend there's an audience, but there's clearly not.
Some people can really pull that off and do it well, can't they?
Actors, generally. But MotoGP riders aren't actors.
No. I'd be very conscious of the fact that it was just us in there.
Yeah.
And it must add that element of, like, reverb.
Yes.
You know, anything you do, bodies absorb a bit of sound.
They do, but I think the best theatres and stuff, the seats are designed to absorb almost as much sound anyway.
Yeah,
so
the harmonics work well.
Yeah, they've really nailed down the acoustics and stuff of those places. And the newer a theatre is, I don't know how old the Philharmonic Theatre is, but you'd imagine it would have revamps through the years and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of science that goes into making a good acoustic building.
It's an art form. But anyway, yes, getting back to the launch. I really liked it.
I thought the launch was fun.
Yeah, I really liked it. I like the whole theatrics of it. I like the fact that, you know, Italians, very Italian-looking theatre. You know, it felt very, very good.
Yes.
Opera singer.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cracking touch.
Yeah, there was a tenor and I'm really bad with opera and someone else. There was a tenor doing some singing, I've been reliably informed, and then there was another of the types of opera singer, but I really don't know. Their names are somewhere, but I don't understand enough about it.
I think they're on the team website. You can find out there who they are there. But they were good. They really did.
Yeah, they were good.
Set the scene. But the bike, what do you think about the bike?
I'm really not a fan, man.
You don't like it, do you?
No, I don't like it. I think it looks like a back of the grid world superbike or like a front running British superbike where they've gone, fuck, our title sponsor is not giving us enough money here. We need to just plug sponsors on this bike. And it just feels like they've gone, right, you can buy this 30 centimetre by 15 centimetre rectangle, go. And they've just kind of auctioned off a lot of those. And we've seen teams do it before. We know like LCR did it a lot.
Yep.
There was a time where Tech 3, the Monster logo was pretty small when it was the Yamaha. The Monster logo was pretty small. They had other advertisers all over it, but I'm a big fan of just a naked bike, but I understand that doesn't work not in
the modern world, not where money is key.
No, you'd need some, but even Mark VDS, the multi-billionaire here who owns teams, is covered in sponsors.
Oh, it's absolutely slap full of them.
Unless you've got some guy and you're looking at going back to the Hesketh in Formula 1.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah.
Where they just ran a car without sponsors because it was prettier. Well, that's great if you've got enough money to afford that, but no one does.
No, not at all.
So I do understand why they're there, but I don't think it's been pulled off very well. But I know you disagree with my opinions on this.
I like it. I like the colours. I think it gets busier as it comes down.
Yeah, I agree. The colours are cool, actually. Yeah. I like the colour combo.
Colours are cool. I saw a great tweet from someone who said, I really like the bike up until the Italian stripes, which is about halfway down the bike.
Yeah.
Because it kind of forms a divide.
Yes,
and he's right. The top half, very clean, very crisp, very nice looking. Below that Italian flag line, is all the sponsors.
Yeah, it's good up until the WithU point. I think the WithU sponsor is fine. I'd like that to be bigger and take up more of the
bit bolder and maybe a bit more out there.
But then they're clearly not paying for that, so what are you going to do?
It's almost like you say, everyone's gone, right, we made the bike look great. Shit, I forgot to put the sponsors on.
Yeah, exactly.
And someone's just gone, right, let's slap them at the bottom. And that bit does ruin it a little bit.
Yeah.
But overall, I like it.
I like the leathers, to be fair. I like the leathers
a
lot, but and I didn't realise why I like the leathers so much, but now you've said it, is the leathers match the top half of the bike.
They're not as intrusive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's exactly what I came up with. I looked at it, I thought, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure, again, we said it last week about how things look different in the flesh. See it, hopefully be one of the shows we're going to go to. Might see it.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, it doesn't matter how bad it looks. If I see a legit MotoGP bike, I'm just going to be like creaming all over it. I'm going to be
You look like a plasterer's radio by the time you're done.
Oh my God. Oh, that's such a 30 other people just standing in a queue waiting for their turn.
Poor old bike. Who's got the baby wipes?
That's enough of that, I think.
Moving on.
But yeah, the launch was fun and a massive improvement on last year's launches, but the livery itself, I think, is a bit for me.
It's near enough there. If it had been a bit more subtle, not as many sponsors, it would have been perfect. It would have been a really nice looking bike. But this is what they've produced, so...
Well, that's it. And we'll see how it performs on track. We might, if it comes out to be a fucking classic and they have a great season, we'll all forget.
Yeah.
And actually, I know it has split opinions, to be fair, even in our Facebook group.
It has split opinions.
We've seen people who share my opinion. We've seen other people who really like it. We see people that are on the fence. So it's quite a divisive bike, I think.
It's struck a lot of brackets.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. We're either going to see a lot of it, and they're going to have a great season, or if we don't like it and they don't have a great season, we ain't got to worry. So we won't see shit all of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point.
The cameraman will be like, nope. So either way, we're either going to learn to love it, or we're not going to have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. I did realise as I was watching the team launch, though, I was like, oh shit, Darren Binder and Dovi have got mirrored numbers here. We've got the 40 and the 04, which I guarantee you, Steve, at some point this year, I'm going to be a bit shit-faced watching a race, and I'm going to get very confused as to why Dovi is riding around at the back and why Darren Binder is like close to a podium, and it's going to really confuse me for a little while, and then I'm going to have to be like, oh wait, hang on, I'm getting my numbers confused.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to catch a few people out, especially if you get some of the flash sort of shots that we get quite often on the camera work.
Yeah,
where it just flashes over for a second. You're like, which one was that?
Exactly. We're just going to have to learn their helmets, which we've had to do in the past.
Yeah,
with various riders
that
anyway.
Especially like with the Repsols when they were running 3.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Really had to be on point then with it.
Yeah.
You're like, which one was that? I don't know.
Like, it was a Repsol. Was it at the front? Yeah, okay. It was probably Stoner. Could have been Pedrosa. Was it fighting for a podium? Yes. Could have been all 3 of them.
Yeah. Fucking no help.
Yeah. That's it. But no, I'm quite looking forward to just seeing it race again. Yeah. I'm just looking forward to seeing racing.
Exactly. It's getting closer. All these little, like we said, and all these little bits are just teasing us now. We strive for perfection. We're very critical. We want all these things looking how we want them to look.
Yes,
yeah, we're not sat there in the design office trying to work out where we're going to put this sponsor in, what category they've paid for, where they can stick them and who wants the premium spot around the side.
Yeah, that's it. The financial logistics of a team are something we do not have to worry about in our lives. So
no, we just sit here and criticise. Yeah. Make it better.
That's exactly it.
And somebody else behind us is going, well, we can't. This is the best we can do. Don't pressurise me. I want my mum.
But no, I do think it was still an improvement on last year's launches. I liked the Patronus livery more than I like this one. I'm quite enjoying, though, the weird thing that's happening within the team where Razlan Razali is like, we are going to fight for the title with Dovi. He's going to have a current year machine. We're going to be fighting for the title. And Dovi's coming out being like, I don't think we're going to be fighting for the title. He's like, I'm going to do my best, obviously. But let's set expectations straight here. We're probably not fighting for the title, are we?
Razlan has just seems to have come out and it's like, we're going to smash it.
Well, I think that maybe we've seen it. We look at the livery. We know that team is in some financial trouble anyway. We look at the livery and we're like, clearly they need all the money they can get with the sponsors that are on there. Yeah. Maybe this is just a way of him just trying to drum up some momentum behind them to just get some more money in.
Did you read the article about him talking about money within MotoGP paddock?
Ooh, I don't know. No, I don't think I did.
I read it the other night. He is saying that to be a competitive professional outfit, they are going to need between roughly, don't quote me whether this is an exact number or what his estimate is, but the numbers were 11 to 13 million euros a year.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, actually.
No, which, you know,
and
is a lot
that's
of
not
money.
a factory level success.
No, that is just a satellite setup.
Yeah.
So you could almost double that for the factory.
I think you can more than double it. We know KTM dumped 250 million on their first 5 years. So if you work that out at 50 million, I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure more of it was front loaded, but that's
Must be.
not really the point. You average it out. And I'm sure Repsol, Honda, I'm sure Yamaha
must be insane.
Are going to be spending shitloads of money.
But you think, just say 11 million, that's a lot of money.
It's a huge amount of money to try and collect
just from
your sponsors.
Exactly. But then to say you need that just to be professional and be competitive, if you then want to progress on, you know, you got to start doubling it. And then
if not more,
Yeah. The pressure their representatives must be under to gather these big sponsors. It's just insane.
It's an interesting point, though, the kind of economics like that, because if you look at Formula One, for example...
Oh, that's probably nothing.
Well, it will be nothing. The back running teams for the new budget cap in Formula One, I think, is 120 million a year. But in the previous years, in the last decade, both Mercedes and Ferrari have been dropping 400 million a year. Like
Jesus.
The economics of Formula One are mad.
That's nuts.
But they're getting more TV time. They're getting more exposure. So the sponsors are paying more.
You look at the coverage, how long the coverage is for a Formula One event now, and just like Sky Sports.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got the whole pre-race show.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch it on Sky Sports, you could arguably watch all weekend. And it would be constant coverage all weekend.
It is. I mean, you got the F1 channel.
Yeah.
So, like, I think the last race of the year that I watched, I turned it on early in the morning, and you had the pre-show show or whatever it's called. Then you had the race. Then you had the race review show or something.
Yeah.
And it was just lengthy, mate. If you sat down, it was like watching the Super Bowl. You know, if you sat down and watched the whole thing, you would literally be there all day. Literally.
Yeah, that's it. I don't often watch because I watch on Channel 4. I watch the extended highlights because I can't afford to pay for F1 TV or Sky Sports F1. Either way, I can't afford it. So I only ever watch Channel 4 coverage, and even that feels long sometimes.
Yeah.
Where that's the highlights. It's got ads, which doesn't help, but that makes it like a 3-hour show in general. You watch it, it's about 3 hours. When I went round to watch the final race of the year with my brother, we sat down from as soon as it started, and it was almost 5 hours of coverage before there were cars on track. Like, it was mad how much coverage it gets. But that's the exposure. The sponsors pay more, the money comes in higher, and there's a better return. So that's why.
That's why it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Aye. But then, imagine that money. What we could do. I could get rid of this laptop.
Mate, if you were getting 400 million a year and you still had that laptop, I'd be like, what the fuck is your problem, man?
Very sentimental.
You're like, I really like the stickers on it, so...
Well, yeah, I did think this the other day. I looked, I was like, fuck, okay, if I get a new one, I've got to buy new stickers.
Well, I had to do that the other day. I took my old laptop into the Apple store because it was dead. I was like, I can't even properly wipe this now to get rid of it. So I took it to the Apple store, they recycle it and everything. But that had years, it was held together with stickers, that computer, to be fair. And it had years of stickers on it. And I handed it in, the girl was like, this is maybe the best laptop I've ever seen. I was like, I assure you, a 2011 MacBook is not the best computer you've ever seen. I was like, it runs like a pile of shit. She was like, I know, but the stickers on it are great. Are you sure you want to get rid? I was like, I'm not going to have it just on my mantelpiece. I'm like, I'm fine, honestly. She's like, have you got stickers on your new one? I was like, I have. But I put them on the case rather than the actual computer. She's like, can I see? I was like, yeah, it's in my bag too. So I've got it out, and it's the one that's facing you now. And she just goes, okay, so the old one was cool, but the new one looks like it's owned by a 12-year-old girl.
Dude.
I was like, oh, come on. They're just more colourful.
I'll get a picture of that. It's going on the Facebook group. Well, there is a My Little Pony on there, dude.
Yeah, and there's a Tiger That Came to Tea sticker. There's some stickers of various flowers and things. I don't mind what the stickers are. If they're there, they're going on something.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. All mine are just like stuff that I've had in.
Yeah, it's when you buy something, it comes free stickers. I'm like, yeah, okay. My old one was covered in stickers when I was travelling in South America, and hostels were just giving out stickers for some reason. So my computer was just plastered in various hostels from around South America. Yeah,
mine are a real mix of like just motorbike stuff, tools.
Yeah, you got fishing stickers on there, I'd imagine.
No.
Mate, you've got our old logo on there.
That old logo is still down the corner, mate. That was one of the first ones to go on there.
Yeah.
But it's wearing through now.
Yeah, I had one of them on my old one.
All right.
We need to get some new stickers with the new logo,
We do
Steve.
need to get... I think I've just broke my laptop.
Oh, no. What have you done that for? Right, anyway, that was a tangent, Steve. Let's continue with the news, shall we? While your computer works out what it's doing again. The next news point, Steve, this is sort of on the bike launches, and this is Ducati's launch, which has been postponed.
It has been pushed back.
It's been pushed back. Jack Miller has tested positive for the old COVIDs.
He won't care.
Oh, he didn't give a flying fuck, mate. He's fine. He's got no symptoms, which is helping him not give a flying fuck. But
yeah, he's a bit like Chuck Norris. He didn't get COVID. COVID got Jack Miller.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. COVID met him and went, fuck, we made an error here, boys.
Balls up here, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I see there's a reason Australia were keeping us out, and that's because we are scared to be here.
We've had 0 cases because Rona won't go near it.
Yeah, exactly. But it actually sounds a bit like Miller is sort of reveling in the fact that he is unable to travel anywhere now. He's just at home for another 2 weeks. It means he's just going out and training. He's got a lot of land there, so he's out on the dirt bike, just training hard. And Ducati have pushed back their team launch. It was supposed to be January 27th in 2 days, which would have been the same day as the Red Bull KTM and Tech 3 KTM launches, also announced this week. But it's been pushed back to February 7th now. So, we'll see everyone together.
Yeah.
February 7th.
Yeah, he's got to be there. You couldn't do it without him. Really.
Exactly. You can't do a team launch. In fact, we even saw Marc Marquez turning up for the Repsol launch last year, didn't we?
We did, yeah, fully injured.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do especially not a factory team launch without both your factory riders.
You could do that weird sort of green screen, fuzz him in.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. Like the Coachella where they do the holograms of Tupac and stuff.
That's it,
Those performances. So I could just imagine a hologram of Jack Miller just chilling.
Yeah, just on his lounger.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm not actually gonna jump around in a green suit for you. I'm just gonna sit in my lounger and drink a beer and maybe have a cigarette and just sit here really, and you can fan me if you like. I'll just pay for someone to come and fan me.
Life.
Dressed in his toga.
Like it. Oh dear. Yeah, so we will see. Another one for the diary. Recap, February 7th.
Yeah, exactly. I have got a list at the end of the news there because we've had some new announcements this week, so we'll go through that at the end anyway of when you guys just keep your eyes out for these team launches because they are fun.
We'll try and share them where we can and when we can if we get them.
Yeah, you've been on it, sharing them in the Facebook group anyway, Steve.
Yeah, as soon as something pops up, I'll throw it in there so people can watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Next piece of news then, Steve, and this is another factory rider, and it's more good news from the Marc Marquez camp. Yeah.
He's at it again.
He's back on track once more, and this time he's traded in his Honda, I haven't got the numbers in front of me here, RC213VS for a Honda CBR 600RR.
Yes.
And this is all training to try and get himself back into shape for riding a MotoGP machine. Which, to start with, I read that, and I was looking at it, I was like, "That's why would you trade down, though, from that, the RC213VS, why would you sort of down from that to a CBR 600RR for your training? You think you'd want the closest spec to MotoGP bike you can. And then it turns out that a CBR 600RR is actually a much heavier machine.
It's hench.
Yeah, it's a big machine. So I think that's part of it. It's just let's get on the heaviest machine we can that's still going to be quick. And let's make him work it to get the lap time here.
I mean, he could fly and he could virtually keep that thing pinned, but he's going to have to wrestle it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to be. Everyone thinks, the smaller the bike.
Well, I mean, there's no lap time in the straights on this bike, is there? So he's got to make that lap time up elsewhere, and that's hard work.
Yeah, so he is going to be chucking this about.
Yeah,
like you put in the notes, he reported no problems with the fission.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
It's very good, very
bonus.
Promising. Yeah,
so. Yeah, I believe, like you put in the notes, that was at Aragon.
Yes.
So it's all looking pretty good for the test.
Yeah, it certainly is now. It's going to be good to see him. I mean, he's not going to be up to speed. We're all fully aware he won't be up to speed. And hopefully the whole point of the test here is just to be him to dial the bike in.
I think so, just to check out the changes, because we know it's a big step up for the machine.
Yeah.
So just ride it. I mean, look what happened last year. Although they made changes, he dived straight onto a bike that he hadn't ridden. In race conditions, that is not what you want to be doing this year.
No, exactly. And last year's bike was a fucking dog. No, to be fair, last year's bike had the rear grip issues. The 2020 bike was a proper dog.
That was the beast. Last year's one still had its issues, but it really struggled with rear grip.
Yeah.
So, and not something you want to be in with the potential of launching yourself over the top where you've just destroyed your arm.
No, that's fair. But then at the same time, the counter of that is if I've got a bike with a really loose rear end, who's the one rider I want on that? It's Marc Marquez, isn't it?
Or Mr. Stoner. And he ain't
Mr.
coming
Stoner,
back.
Exactly. That's exactly it. But of current riders, Marc Marquez is the one that he's going to be able to deal with a rear loose end and just be able to make it work. And you've referenced Stoner. He'll make it look amazing.
Oh, they will just style it out.
Yeah, exactly.
It will just be like, hold my beer, watch this. Everyone else is like shitting themselves, trying to keep wheels in line. These two were like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You like that? Yeah.
I did like that a lot.
Little hand action going as well.
It reminded me a lot of the one-handed burnout wave.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
Mr. Melandri's.
Yeah, that's it.
Phillip Island over Lukey Heights.
Yeah, that's the one.
Smoke in the rear.
Yeah, that's the face I imagine he would have pulled at the time as well, that face you were pulling then.
It was probably more along the lines of,
It doesn't make for good podcasting, though, where we just talk about our own facial expressions.
No, not at all. I've got a face for radio, though, so it's good.
It all works out wonderfully.
Yes, beautiful.
Next piece, then, jumping on from Marc Marquez to a track that Marc Marquez adores.
We might not after this.
I think Marc Marquez, he adored this track from the moment we went there in 2013, to be fair, where he just crushed it. And in 2013, it would have been billiard table smooth.
Oh, it would have been sleek, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Like an ice ring.
So this is Circuit of the Americas, Texas. And this is the resurfacing job that's been going on there. We spoke about this in the off-season. It's still the off-season, but I suppose we probably spoke about this last year, to be fair, Steve.
We technically did.
But over the last few weeks, COTA have been resurfacing. Last year, for those that don't know, the riders said they would not return to the track if it wasn't resurfaced, but that turns 2 to 10 were the real issue here. The crux of it was, we want the whole circuit resurfaced, but we will come back if you resurface turns 2 to 10. And this is just because of all the bumps and stuff that had appeared over time. There's a lot of subsidence going on. It's shit ground there, which I guess no one realised at the time, which feels weird, but...
I probably just didn't know.
Yeah, but is there other buildings around there? You think if there's been other big construction work around there, they'd know there's subsidence issues. They'd know there'd be problems. It's not out in the middle of nowhere, is it?
No, I think it's fairly near the town, but I guess it's just a different style of pressure.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, these buildings are designed to withstand, I don't know, hurricanes, earthquakes, the high rises. This is just something completely different. It's flat black tarmac, which is taking that Texan heat.
Yeah.
Then get pushed to hell. Plus, it add in some weird weather.
Well, you get the rain underneath, don't you? That softens the mud and stuff underneath, and then the track was sliding about really on its foundations, which was causing the issue.
Yeah, I guess, it's not a surface or a build that is designed to cope with the weather. It's designed to cope with...
But that's weird. Do you think it should be? But then we saw it in Silverstone in 2018. 18 was it when it was cancelled?
Yeah, 2018 when it got really cancelled. But just look what happened there.
Yeah, exactly. That's
ducks were swimming past.
And to be fair, everyone was then looking at the guys that built this track like, oh my God, you built a race circuit in the UK that can't deal with rain. What the fuck were you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, but it sort of feels the same here.
It does kind of feel the same.
That was redone a year ago. At this point, in 2018, I think the track had been redone for 2018, hadn't it?
Yeah.
And Silverstone. And then it just all went tits up. Whereas this has been a long progression of just...
It's been a slow burn to get to the point where it is now. So it shows that it's taken longer.
Yeah.
Whereas Silverstone was just one big fuck up overnight.
Yes, exactly.
So
not only, though, are COTA doing turns 2 to 10, they are also going to be resurfacing turns 12 to 16. So they've gone for a bit more than the bare minimum, but without having to resurface the entire track. But the way they went around choosing which bits to resurface is quite amazing. They spent a lot of time using ground-penetrating radar, laser mapping. They were using various scanners to get a real good picture of what was happening under the circuit, why this was happening. And that's when they'd gone, right, we'll do 2 to 10. We're going to scan the rest of the track, see what needs doing. And this is where they picked out 12 to 16. Because although 12 to 16 people were complaining about, apparently these guys were looking at the scans and stuff and be like, shit, this is going to get really bad if we don't fix it. So we may as well, while we're already here, we've got all the gear here, it's cheaper just to fix it now.
Yeah, damn right.
And that's what they opted for. And it's hopefully that's going to have done the job for a while.
For a while, yeah. I think it will gradually come back, which we often see.
Yeah.
But at least, they could turn around and say, look, we've done more than the bare minimum that you asked for. We brought in all this equipment. We scanned the rest of the track. We haven't just gone, what is the bare balls minimum we can get away with just to keep these guys coming back? Because they want MotoGP there.
Yeah, and I mean, Formula One also complained, to be fair. Formula One also said, we can't keep
imagine
coming
if they 1 year they lost both the Premier Racing Series.
Surely the end of that circuit.
There's got to be. I mean...
Was the end of it ever being resurfaced?
Well, Christ, yeah, unless you get Dave's tarmac from down the road.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened to Brno. Brno gets to a point where Brno can no longer afford a resurfacing job, and MotoGP just doesn't go to Brno anymore.
No, done. Just doing local races.
Yeah, local races and track days and stuff.
That's nuts. Nuts. The budget cuts. The old Abrahams must be struggling.
Yeah, quite. So at COTA, not only have they resurfaced, but they've also reinforced all the sections they resurfaced. So they've put a big, thick... They've extended the concrete foundations out around it to try and prevent, the subsidence and the slipping, hopefully it will stop it happening again.
Should do.
Fingers crossed. I mean, I'm not a track designer here. I was a bit concerned they were leaving this a bit late, but they've sort of smashed it out of the park. I didn't think they were starting until February time, but they seem to be almost finished now. So I don't know whether it came forward or whether we had bad reporting to start with, but it's
not sure. Or maybe someone's looked at it and gone, fuck, we better get on.
Yeah. There's some good pictures, though, online.
There are some really good pictures.
The track being ripped up, of it being resurfaced. It's quite a cool process to just sit and look at the pictures.
I like it. I've seen an old RAF track ripped up in the past. Which is now part of the Hethel site, Lotus site, near us.
Okay.
I was working with my dad. He was a ground worker, and he was taking parts of it up. So we got to see how it was built, old school.
Nice.
And it was just very, very Roman.
Yeah.
large blocks, medium, and then small put on top, and then you smooth.
Oh, really? That's how the foundations went down then? It's just a series of huge concrete blocks?
Back then, but you got to remember this was built a long time ago, I'm quick.
Sure, to be fair, the method hasn't changed much, but the materials and technologies involved in that will have changed.
Yeah, I mean, if you go online and Google like Roman roads, they are built exactly like that. Yeah. Boulders, smaller, until they all just work in.
They work in, but if you've ever walked along a Roman road, you know full well you would not want to be driving or riding or doing anything along that because it's fucking rough.
Yeah, it stood the test of time.
Certainly. And that's the amazing thing when you're on those kind of roads. You're walking along them and you're like, shit, this has literally been here for 2,000 years.
Yeah, we've got some still remain in the UK you could drive down, which has been surfaced over.
Yeah.
And you watch it, it's just like pin straight. It's like some of the pictures you see in America, like through the desert and all the jazz, just straight for miles.
Yeah.
But yeah, you wouldn't want to drive on one that hadn't been resurfaced because you will lose your breakfast.
Yeah, quite quickly. I think I nearly lost my breakfast walking along.
Yeah, they're not very nice.
Next bit of news then, Steve.
Yes.
CV, which became the Junior World Championship, and this is something you and I talk about at the beginning of every year when we're doing our Welcome the Rookie series coming in, and we always kind of get confused. Are we calling it CV? Are we calling it Junior World Championship? What are we calling it now? Well, it's been rebranded again, Steve.
Just to confuse the hell out of us.
It's now the Junior GP. Which... The whole point of this is to make it a more international thing. It changed from CEV because the E is obviously Espanol in CEV. So that was the Spanish racing series.
Yep.
And they kind of wanted to make it, they're like, this is the step to MotoGP. We can see that this is. Let's make it a more global thing. So it was rebranded the Junior World Championship. However, everyone fully knows that I think it's only one race takes place outside of Spain in the Junior World Championship.
Much, yeah.
So everyone knows you've still got to go live in Spain. You've still got to be in Spain. So now they've tried it again and called it the Junior GP.
Well... At least it's dropped the sort of homage to Spain-ish.
Well, sort of, but it's not really changed from the Junior World Championship at this point. They've just added GP on the end instead.
Maybe someone was like, we've got to rebrand this. What are we going to do? And let's bring it as close to MotoGP as possible.
And this is why I don't know why they didn't go with Moto Junior.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I saw that in your notes. I was like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, Moto Junior. You're like, okay, that's the step up to Moto3. That will make sense to me now.
Yeah.
But a Junior GP just feels like it's going to change again.
I'm sure it will. Within a year, I'll be like, fucking hell, we've got to remember something else now.
I'm sure eventually they'll end up calling it Moto something to make it in line. We saw this happen again in Formula 1. There was Formula 1, then it was GP2, there was... I think it was then GP3, there was European F3, like there was all these different series. Now it's just Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3.
That's an easy thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you've got, I'll call it Formula Moto 4 then, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe Moto 4 works,
Yeah, something. Moto 5 for the real little kiddies.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get this road to MotoGP all under the same branding.
Yeah.
The Moto something.
And it's just that progressional ride up.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, GP.
That's it, because until you're quite involved with knowing what's going on with the younger riders, you don't really know the difference between CEV, CIV, Junior World Championship, all of the talent cups. Like it's all kind of, you're like, there's a lot of shit going on here, and I
it's
just
exploded in the last 3 years.
Exactly. So it kind of makes sense. Let's make it easy for the casual fans. Let's make it easy for everyone. Let's just call it Moto something. This could be Moto 4, like you say, Moto Junior, and then Moto 4 makes more sense because then you can tick down to Moto 5, Moto 6, and keep going down that way.
Just keep rolling it down.
Makes the road to MotoGP more obvious.
It does. It's just one steady ladder.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight to the top. It just confuses the hell out of me, especially now you got like the Northern Talent Cup. You got this Talent Cup. I'm just like, which one is the base? Where do you start?
And this is the
like
tough thing.
It's regional, and
you start with your talent cups, and then you will end up in the Junior GP, which was the Junior World Championship, which was the CV. You will end up in Spain, and they're still fully aware of that. They're still, Dorna, obviously being a Spanish-based company, are looking at this and being like, it's great for now, but this ain't sustainable in the long term. We need to get this everywhere. We need to grow it. We need to make sure that it's not that. I think it was something like 85% of the current MotoGP grid all went through whatever the CEV Junior World Championship or Junior GP was.
Chunk.
Yeah,
it's a huge chunk, far more than you would ever thought. But that just shows the way it works. You know, this is where 90% of these riders come from.
Yeah, certainly.
And the only way they're going to make the series more diverse is to put these other series out around the world, which they're doing.
Yes.
And then just funnel those riders in.
And they are doing, to be fair to Dorna here, I think they're doing
a cracking job.
It's a slow job, but it has to be a slow job because it's a generational change. Like you can't just one day go, we're going to start all these series, and then next year we're only going to have 4 Spanish riders rather than 10 in the series. That's not how it works. It needs to be generational. So they're sowing the seeds very well now, in my opinion, and hopefully that will grow to a forest of just diverse talent in the future.
I'm sure it will, but like you say, it's going to be a long time.
Yes,
it's not going to happen overnight. But it's there now, and people's kids' routes in are going to be much easier.
Yeah.
So, good luck to the guys that are there and progressing through their career. So
exactly.
Go on, people.
And speaking of diversity in the sport, Steve, let's move it on to the Toprak Razgatlıoğlu MotoGP saga, because this one isn't over yet.
No, we spoke last week about it, and it's just, he ignited this one, which I love.
It's the gift that keeps on giving at the moment.
This one. He is like Santa at the minute. I love the boy.
Yeah.
And it's just a little tweet that read, always had a MotoGP dream, 2023. And
why not?
Yeah.
Winky face.
With just a perfect winky face.
And then it was just a picture of him on the bike. On his World Superbike bike.
Yep, not a MotoGP bike. And it just exploded.
And now everyone is like, oh my God, has he signed a deal? Is he coming in 2023? What's happening here? So the whole MotoGP media world has just gone mad for it.
If you want to just throw a spanner in the works and just ignite the fire that is the MotoGP silly season, he has just set it off perfectly.
I like to think he was sitting at home, maybe with his missus, and just chilling and had a couple of beers.
Yeah.
And he's like, nothing on Netflix. I think I'm just going to tweet some shit and see what happens.
That's exactly what I would do. My thoughts, exactly. I sat there, my thought was, I bet he's in the bath.
Yeah.
A bit fucking bored.
I bet he's also got Netflix in the bath, to be fair.
He's probably got 2 TVs in the bathroom.
If I had that level of money, I'd have Netflix in my bathroom.
Oh, God, there'd be Netflix in every room of the house. He probably gets a lot more Netflix and chill than us. But I would just, if it was me, I'd sit there and be like, just give her a nudge. Watch this. And just tweet something.
And it must be annoying, mustn't it? Because he's going to tweet that and he's like, 30 seconds later, 5,000 likes. He's like, prick.
Yeah, and he's just going to sit there smug as hell.
Yeah.
And then he knows every journo is going to go, breaking news.
100%.
Yeah, and it's all just going to flood out. And the Chinese whisper of, Toprak has signed a MotoGP factory Yamaha deal. It's just going to come out, and GP1's going to be like Toprak signs for Adidas. I had to throw that in there.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if any of these guys did sign for Adidas, to be fair. I imagine that's a lucrative payday. And B, I'm not surprised even if they don't, if GP1 reports it, Steve. So it's fine all round.
One day there's going to be a knock at my door. What have you been saying about us? Don't give a shit.
They're Italian, aren't they, GP1?
I don't care.
Okay. You're like, no, none of that Mediterranean passion is going to bother me at all.
No, definitely not.
I'm a stone-faced, stiff upper lip Englishman.
Yes, with my little moustache. very Robin Hood.
I've been watching, speaking of a little moustache here, I have been watching the Around the World in 80 Days, a David Tennant series.
Oh, you said about that.
Very, very good. And that's exactly how I'm imagining you with your little pencil moustache now.
I can see my little pencil moustache. I have to shave this grey off under here.
That's fine.
It's not quite invaded the tash yet.
No, it hasn't. The tash has still got the nice colour to it. The rest is silvering up now.
Yeah, but that makes it stand out even more.
Yeah, I like it, man.
Yeah.
Own it.
I might. The hair's coming.
I can see that now. I'm looking for it. I'm like, oh god, there it is. There.
It's in the sides there, and because I said I grow my hair back with Sarah.
Yeah.
Because we obviously shaved it because I had cancer altogether. When we bicked her head, shaved mine, I was like, I'll grow my hair, and I've always told her that when I'm older, I'm going to have the full-on Gandalf and a pipe.
You're getting on your way now, man.
It's coming. It's coming. This is the start of my Gandalf years.
So you just grow it for another 10 years now. You'll end up with a Woodstock grey ponytail going on, which is going to be great. And then a few years after that, you'll be able to drop it all out for the proper Gandalf.
That's what I'm going for.
I'll get you a robe and a staff as well, Steve.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get me a staff. There's a nice piece of oak at work, which will make a really good staff.
There you go. Sneak that out.
I've got my eye on.
Yeah. Stick it in your trouser leg or something on the way out.
I can't really say that makes a lot of stuff gone missing, but...
But back to Razgatlıoğlu, Steve, before your boss fires you for stealing things from the workplace.
No, I haven't. Other people have.
Oh, okay. Before the boss hauls you into the office and says to you, Steve, if you do not tell me who has been stealing stuff, you're fired. Because that ain't going to happen, because we're going to stop talking about it, Steve. We're going to draw attention away from that using a great distraction technique that is Toprak Razgatlıoğlu. So there's tons of questions obviously flying around now. Is he going to end up in MotoGP? If so, what's the team going to be? When's he going to announce his move to MotoGP? Obviously, we don't have the answers to those, Steve. No one does, but these are the questions being thrown around.
There is a minefield at the minute, and all my opinion is of Yoda again. Did that earlier.
You did via text, actually.
Yeah.
Send you show notes. I did. I was like, right, okay, Steve, let's carry on.
Just got my little stick again. Not really a staff this time. Let's get off that subject. Got wood.
Oh, God, here we go. But yeah, we don't know what's going to happen with Toprak here, but it's just exciting to talk about because I'd love to see it, man.
I don't know. You know my opinion.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a champion in their own rights.
Yes.
But I think...
But the idea of a champion coming from World Superbikes and then
which we
crushing
haven't
MotoGP... I'm sure it has happened, but
Ben
I've not seen it.
came across, didn't he?
Well, he did, but he won less races than Cal Crutchlow in his MotoGP career, and Crutchlow also came across. Although Ben Speed came across as champion.
Yeah, but I just think... I don't know, Toprak, different sort of, not era, but different years to Ben Speed's, different bikes.
Very, very different machines.
Yeah, I just think if Toprak came across now, he'd probably stand a better chance.
Depends what he comes across on, though,
Exactly. It would be tough, because that grid is filling up with talent fast.
Yeah.
I just think we sit back and wait. And
we have to, and just talk about it every now and again.
Yeah,
I'm not going to make a prediction on it, because it seems ridiculous to try.
I think it is... Whatever we say is going to be completely wrong.
Yeah.
So we'll just sit back and we'll wait for silly season to unfold and that one crazy person to go, yeah, I'm making a switch, and then watch the shit hit the fan.
Yeah, exactly.
And Toprak go, ooh.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Right, Steve, before we end the news, we'll just run through the team launches that we have, dates for, so you guys can note these down and... just get ready to watch because it's all very exciting. So we've had the Gresini Ducati launch now. We've had the WithU Yamaha launch. On the 27th of January, which is a couple of days from now, it'll be on Thursday, we have the Red Bull KTM and the Tech 3 KTM launch. They're going to be launching at the same time in Matterhofen again. On the 2nd of February, Pramac Ducati are launching. And then on the 4th of February, we've got Monster Yamaha and Suzuki X-Star both launching. February 7th is the Lenovo Ducati launch, which has been delayed from the 27th. And then the day after that is Repsol Honda. And then a single day later, on February 9th, is the LCR Honda launch.
That's a busy bit at the start of February.
It's a busy bit going on, and we've still not all the teams have announced yet, so we've still got a couple more.
Yes. We'll see. I think they'll all be done. Well, that is the weekend of the test, isn't it? The 9th, so...
The first test is before that, isn't it? So we know Ducati, Repsol, and LCR Honda will not have their new liveries at the test.
No,
not the first test. Will that give them time? The 9th is part of the Mandalika test, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. So we'll see. We'll sit back. We'll see what the others drop when the others drop their unveilings in. And then by the time we get to, well, not even the first weekend in February. Well, the first weekend, sorry.
Yeah, it will be the first weekend, won't it?
Yeah, I was trying to pick up dates then. It'll all be over.
Yes. Hopefully. I'm enjoying this period. I like the foreplay, though. I like the foreplay to the season, and it's got me boosted. I felt and even throughout much of the winter, every time I talk to you, I feel super stoked about MotoGP happening again. But I'm still on a bit of a Formula One hangover. I've really been avoiding Formula One content since that season. I'm still on a hangover, and I'm still not that excited for Formula One. But the car launches are soon. I think that's going to get me excited again.
That will kick it off. You just need that little bit of... You just need the carrot dangling again.
Yeah,
it was such a big explosion of energy and controversy at the end of the Formula One season. It's such a natural high and hype.
Yes.
That everyone is going to experience that natural low that comes with that.
That's exactly it. And I felt that low across all of racing. I just wasn't really that fussed. So every time I sit down and talk to you, I get excited about MotoGP again. But then I leave and I'm like, I don't know. Can I be bothered to sit and watch all those races again? And then every time I talk to you again, I'm like, of course I can fucking be bothered. Yeah. I'm so stoked. But now with the team launches, I'm getting stoked at home again when I'm sitting by myself, when I've just got like Cherie there being like, what are you doing? I'm like, she came in earlier like, why are you watching Italian opera singers? I was like, it's a team launch, top bikes. She's like, oh god, here we go. But now I'm getting excited for it again.
Yeah. You need that little buzz.
Yes, it's the warm up. This is what we need.
It's easy. It's something to look forward to. It's easy to get to forget the passion, like when there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
We're not involved in the paddock. We just sit at home and we scan through social media every now and again, and we read the tabloids and look at what these guys are doing. But we have to wait.
Yes.
We have to wait. And that is that tantalizingly teasing time where you fall out of love with it.
Yeah.
Just to get it reignited as soon as the new year's here. We get all these tests. We get all the unveilings. There's only a couple of weeks and we got a race.
Yeah, 40 days, man.
I know.
40 days from now. That's the same amount of time as Noah spent in the Ark. There you go. That puts it into some perspective for you. At least we're not hanging out in an Ark with like 2 of every kind of animal running around.
Yeah. That's a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's a lot of poo to pick up.
Oh, I just dumped it over the side.
I mean, you still got to pick it up to do that, though. There's no other option. You've got to dump it over the side. But
mate, I build boats for a living. I could design something.
Oh, that's a fair point. You just have a little robot around sweeping up all the shit.
Just get R2 out.
Yeah, happy days, that'll do. R2 can go upstairs now as well, so that's not a problem.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Forgot about that.
Awesome. Anyway, Steve.
Tangents.
Quite. Let's take a quick break, mate.
Let's do it.
When we come back, we will dive into our introduction to Remy Gardner.
Let's do it, mate.
Bear with us one moment, guys, and we will be right back with you. And we are back. Fresh beer in hand. First time that time, Steve. I nailed that one. And we're here to talk about Remy Gardner, Steve.
We are, buddy.
This is son of the 1987 world champion Wayne Gardner, and that's obviously 500cc world champion, so Premier class, but not MotoGP.
No.
And Remy Gardner was born on the 24th of February 1998. I had it in my head that he was a bit older than this.
I did as well.
Because he's sort of been around for a long time in the Grand Prix paddock.
He has, yeah. He's been here for quite some time. It's taken him a while to get to the top.
Yeah, it has.
But it just seems like he's been here a lot longer.
Yes, I had it in my head he was probably born 95 or something.
I was going roughly around the same time. But
and he just looks a bit older than the rest of them.
I think it's the hair.
Gnarly
kind of Aussie.
The facial hair. That he's got a bit of facial hair compared to like the rest of the Moto2
the squeaky clean.
Year. Exactly, the Ralph Fernandez. Even someone like Fabio Quartararo, who still doesn't know what a razor is, except for maybe his chest. I'm sure he shaves his chest.
I'm pretty sure he shaves his chest. Or he just opens his leathers and let the wind blow off.
Yeah. He just throws on some of the hair removal cream and then just goes to like ride in the sun. Just let it all blow away.
There's an image. He won't be riding behind him.
Yeah. You're like, Jesus, why is this guy on a Yamaha just throwing pubes at me?
He's manscaping.
So Remy Gardner started riding motorbikes at 4 years old, but didn't get onto a track until he was 10.
No.
So this is almost just, again, one of these late starters to like, track racing.
He's still getting his skills in, so honing his skills, but on enduro bikes and off-road.
Yeah, doing a lot of off-roading and stuff. Yeah. And then I think his first foray onto tarmac was on a Super Motard, which we kind of all know is still an enduro bike with road tyres. Or like a dirt bike with road tyres in it.
Slightly different setup, but it's essentially the same thing. Just geared up and trimmed up for road use.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, even if you're not on a track until you're 10, having a motorcycle world champion as a father kind of gives you a bit of a boost, doesn't it? You've got someone there that can be like, critique you well, and someone who... Yep. It's not like you and I criticising a rider here. This is one of the best riders ever criticising you and giving you constructive criticism, so he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. You're not going to turn around and go, Dad, you don't know what you're talking about.
No, exactly. And I'm sure there's been conversations that actually the bike's completely different now to when you rode, so it's completely different. But I'm sure actually
principle,
Wayne Gardner knows that. He's like, okay, I can't tell you when to pull the throttle, I can't tell you when to jam the brakes, but I can tell you how to navigate the world of MotoGP even behind the scenes, and that's going to be really useful information.
It's definitely a big plus and boost having an ex-world champion in your corner.
Certainly.
You know, there's not many guys that could boast that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly it. So 2010 then with Remy Gardner here. So at 12 years old, Honda Australia invited Remy to compete in the NS 100F mini bike race series in Spain.
Yes.
He went on to represent Australia in that series.
Yes, he did.
Later in the same year, 2010, he won the MRRDA Australian Nippers Championship for under 13-year-olds at Phillip Island. Now that, my friend, is a long title for a championship.
That is a long title, and a very Aussie title.
Yeah, Nippers.
The Nippers. Just made me die when I read that. I thought that is proper Aussie.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it is a long championship title.
Yes.
You know, when you got to read that one out, what did you win? And it just goes on and on and on.
Exactly, everyone's asleep by the time you're finished.
Yep, really. Oh, he's finished. Shit, wake up. What did he say?
How many pages was that? 14. 14 pages of 0.8 type.
That's a long title.
Yeah, it certainly is. But yeah, he won that in 2010.
Aye.
2011 saw Remy head out of Australia to compete in the Road to MotoGP. Obviously, it wasn't called the Road to MotoGP then, but he headed over to Spain to compete in the CV series for the following few years. And that's kind of where he stayed for kind of 3 years or so, just, I say, bumming around Spain. He wasn't bumming around Spain. He was working very hard to
put the graft in. But from what I could read, he was just competing in anything and everything that he could get his hands on.
Yeah.
And like we said, if you want... Look at Jack Miller. If you want to compete, you've got to come over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Which not so much anymore, but back then, definitely, you had to relocate.
We do know, don't we, that Remy Gardner's career cost Wayne Gardner a lot of money up until this point. And while I'm sure now he's getting paid enough to be paying that back, he was very fortunate to come from a very well-off father, a guy who had made a ton of money racing motorcycles, so had the money there to support his son through this. Without that money, it would have been a much harder graft for him.
It would have been so much slog.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong, it was a big slog anyway. But just having that little boost, that little push, that little mentor, or not say little mentor, but your father in the background as your mentor, who's an ex-world champion, is just a massive boost. So without that, it could have been a very different story.
Certainly. I do remember, I can't remember what year it was, but I was watching some of the MotoGP coverage. It must have been Moto2 or Moto3 coverage at the time. And the commentators were saying that they'd spoken to Wayne Gardner, and Wayne Gardner was dropping 6 figures a year on keeping his son in a racing seat and keeping him progressing through the series. So it kind of goes to show, doesn't it, like how much, if you haven't got that sponsor backing, and I suppose from Australia, maybe it's not like being Spanish. You're not got like Repsol clamoring after you to sign you on some sponsorship deal. You've not got those big Spanish sponsors that exist.
No, that is very true.
In the MotoGP world, you're looking for sponsors elsewhere, and it must be quite hard if you're outside of Spain, especially, but outside of Europe probably as a whole, to get those sponsors on board.
That is very true. I suppose as well, if you're living in Australia and you're the son of Wayne Gardner, who is that ex-world champion, if you're an Australian promoter...
Yeah, if you're doing Australian superbikes, it's probably quite easy to get sponsorship at that point, but to go further afield.
Exactly. If you roll up and say, right, I want sponsorship, what are you competing in? And you're suddenly saying, right, I'm going to go race in Europe.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are going to turn around and say, well, we've got our own domestic championship here.
Yeah, you're like, that coverage is useless to us.
Yeah, this is going to be a hell of a name to secure for the Aussie Superbike Championship.
Yeah.
So I wonder how many people would have turned him down just on the basis that he's not going to be representing a championship in Australia.
I'm sure it would be a lot, and I'm sure that is true of every rider of every nationality. If they're going to another country to race and to try and progress to the Premier Class here, it must be super hard to get a local sponsor on board.
Oh,
like you're not seeing like your local motorcycle dealer sponsoring Danny Pedrosa, right?
No.
You're not seeing that, but you will see that at a very local level with racing.
Absolutely. We see it over here all the time. We go to like our local meets and you'll see some unknown names because these guys have just gone into the local town and gone, plugged up a sponsorship deal.
Yeah, well, we know our local bike shop sponsors local riders for motocross and stuff.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they sponsor 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, they've got a fair few. So, but they're not going to be, their pockets aren't deep enough to sponsor on an international level, but also it just doesn't make economical sense.
No, absolutely not. No.
So 2014 then, we move on 3 years from 2011. 2014, Remy made his first appearance in Moto3, twice replacing injured riders and once as a wild card. So 3 appearances in that year. He scored a 27th, a 26th and a 15th place over those 3 races. The single point came in Malaysia for that 15th, and that put him in 32nd overall for the championship that year, which feels like a pretty good showing. Like, just to score a point in 3 races, be like classified, because I didn't realise this, but when you look through the classifications from these years, if you didn't score a point, you're not actually classified.
No, I didn't realise that either. Like you say, I wonder how many people then go under the radar.
Well, this is it. Like we said last week, we've said it a few times. When you go on Wikipedia and just type in, 2014 Moto3.
Oh God, the numbers of people.
Almost 50 entrants.
Yeah.
And only across that, some of those would have done 1 or 2 races. Some of them would have done half a season. But you will have 20 of those won't have scored points at all.
No. So your name will never go down.
Yeah, exactly.
So just to come out and get a point in this one round.
Yeah.
Just secure your name forever in that championship. Bonus.
Yeah, exactly. And it really paid off for him. Being able to score that 1 point in 2014 got him a full-time ride in 2015. This was with the CIP squad, and he's riding a Mahindra for the first time. If you go back to 2014, he'd actually ridden a KTM or a Kalex KTM.
Yes.
So he'd never ridden a Mahindra. So as we have seen over and over again throughout history here, he jumped on a Mahindra, and it was a dog. He had a terrible year.
He did.
It was 5 DNFs, 12 non-scores, and just 1 point scoring finish, which came as a 10th place as his home race in Phillip Island.
Tough.
And I mean, Australians go good at Phillip Island.
Oh, they do.
Know that.
they really do go well at Phillip Island. Not a good year.
No, a tough year for him.
Yeah. I mean, your rookie year on a Mahindra is just double or nothing.
Yes.
It is almost career ending. If you're going to drop on, full time on a bike that isn't great, we said it about the last few guys have spoken about taking the hard road.
Yeah.
This is really taking the hard road.
Certainly.
The last few guys we've spoken about have all had a ride, then moved to the Mahindra.
Yeah, or they had some level of success on a Mahindra that Remy just didn't achieve.
No, he did not gel with that bike at all.
No, over the season.
That one round.
Well, exactly, and that one round is where he scored his 6 points for the season and got 30th overall in the standings.
Yep.
Only 3 full-time riders finished behind him, which isn't great.
Not overly, no.
But a lot of it was blamed on his height and build. He was just too big for a Moto3 machine at this point.
Yep.
And it probably didn't help that he was riding a Mahindra.
No. If you're going to be a big guy, quite bulky on a bike, you want something that's stable and reliable.
You just want the best bike. If you're at a size disadvantage to everyone, you need the biggest machine advantage you can get to be able to try and overcome this size advantage. Disadvantage.
But it's his first full-time season. Yeah. Someone's offered him a ride full-time.
I mean, you don't say no.
No, absolutely. You're going to snap it up no matter what it is. It's your chance to finally showcase your talent and get noticed.
Yeah.
Someone came to me and said, right, you can move to this job, but it's a bit of a risk. It's a bit shit, but the outcome could be this.
Yeah.
I'm taking that risk.
Well, exactly.
So you can't knock him for doing it. It's just a ballsy move.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But it sort of paid off. So 2016 rolls around and Remy is due to compete in Moto2 aboard a Suter with AGP Racing.
Aye.
Which I've read that and I was like, fuck, Suter. Sort of completely forgotten about them.
I just had shut them out of my mind.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, since Marc Marquez won his Moto2 Championship on a Suter, but I think that's the last time the Suter chassis had any success, and now they're not in the sport at all.
I believe so. Yeah, I mean, was it 4 years since they've been in the championship? 5?
4 or 5.
It's a while now. But with their lack of success, it shows they just sort of disappeared.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what happened to this AGP racing squad. They folded before the season started, which left Remy without a ride. So rather than go into Moto2 in the Grand Prix paddock, he ended up competing in CV Moto2.
Yep.
Which we now know is Junior GP Moto2.
Yes.
I assume it's Junior GP, or did they only rebrand CV Moto3 as Junior GP?
Oh, God, I don't know. Let's go with the fact that it is Moto2 Junior GP.
It's CV Junior World Championship Junior GP Moto2.
That's the one. That's it. That's it right there. Cover all bases.
Yeah, exactly. In his foray into CEV, he won a race at Barcelona mid-season and then switched to the Moto2 World Championship. He scored points on his first outing. He was just in as a replacement, but scored points on his first outing, which kept him in the ride for the remainder of the season because the person he replaced, whose name I have not written down, hadn't managed to score a single point on 6 outings.
Was it? Yeah.
Oh, go on, Steve. You look like you're about to have it then.
I can't even pronounce it. Donji?
I've got no idea, mate. I can't remember it at all.
No, I remember writing it down, and it's just gone now.
Okay.
I can see the name, but I can't get it out of my head.
That's fine. You're doing better than me. Over the remainder of the season, he scored points on just 2 more occasions and finished the season 26th with 8 points total. So, considering, I guess, this is an improvement on the previous year in Moto3.
Yeah.
And considering he didn't have a ride at the start of the year, to come back, score a few points, take a full-time ride, and end up 26th overall is just fine. He's not Ralph Fernandez at this point, is he? He's not setting the world on fire, but it was enough.
It must have been a real headfuck start to the season.
Yes, without doubt.
All of a sudden your team's folded, you're scrapping for a ride, you're just going to take anything you can.
Yeah.
You know where you want to be. You've been on that path. And all of a sudden you've got to tear through these different whatever you can get.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're given that little opportunity. And he's come out and he's done pretty damn good. So a lot of the time, I think if it was me, I'd be so worried that
I'd be an emotional wreck, mate. I wouldn't know what's going on.
I wouldn't be able to ride just for the fact my head would be all over the place.
Uh-huh.
So just to sit down and have the maturity at that age to come out and be calm enough to get some results shows just how mature he was.
Yeah, exactly that. So 2017 rolls around and Remy is given a full-time ride with Tech 3 in Moto2. He's riding on the Mistral chassis, which no longer exists, obviously. We know that Tech 3 don't exist in Moto2 anymore.
No, they are gone.
But when they were still in Moto2, they moved from the Mistral to the KTM chassis.
Yes.
The Mistral chassis is the one that Guy Coulon pretty much just smashed together in his little shed.
I'm pretty sure he just knocked it up with a set of spare parts. And
it was very much a homemade chassis, just Guy Coulon just chilling out, being like, let's just weld a bit here and see what happens.
Yeah, just in his little workshop with his time machine.
Yeah, he's there just like, I do 88 miles an hour, I'll go pick up a basic Calex from, 1998, and then we'll see what we can do with it.
Yeah, knock it together, and he didn't do a bad job.
No, he made a bike that could score points. I don't know if Tech 3 ever scored a win in Moto2.
Ooh.
They certainly scored podiums.
They definitely had podiums, but no, I don't think they got a win.
Bradley Smith scored podiums on a Mistral, I remember.
I think he did, yeah, I think you're right, but I don't believe they ever got a race win.
No, I don't think they did.
No, but if you know differently at home, let us know.
Correction corner is waiting for you, my friends.
It is. This could be your chance to shine. Put us in the corner.
So the first outing on this Tech 3 Mistral bike was not ideal for Remy. He crashed out of the first 2 races and was ruled out of the third with injury.
Yes.
After that, though, things did start to improve. He scored points on 7 occasions, got 7 more no scores, and got 1 DNF through the season, finishing 21st overall with 23 points. So the progression is here now.
It's starting to show.
Yeah, we're making steps. That step
is starting to really form on the ladder.
Yes.
So I think this is probably around the time where people have sort of said, actually, hang on. This guy's had a torrid time at the minute. All of a sudden, he's settled down.
Yeah, he's got flashes.
Yeah, he's had a full season now on, all right, maybe a knock-together chassis.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, he's progressed.
That's exactly it. And then 2018 rolls around, Steve, and things really started to improve for him here. The year wasn't without hardship. Remy broke both legs in a training accident and missed 3 rounds. But aside from that, he scored 8 points finishes, including a personal best at 5th in Valencia. And he was also due to start on the front row at Silverstone in 2018, which we've already spoken about in this show, Steve. It was the race that was cancelled because we can't even deal with a bit of rain over here.
How gutted must he have been?
Yeah, it was so frustrating.
I didn't even realise. I can remember all the other TV coverage, watching on BT Sport, Scott Redding stood in the pit lane slating everyone. Let's go racing.
With his little sign, don't cry, let's race.
Yeah, basically. And, all what was it? Neil Hodgson and Gavin Emmett just around the pulling pints in the bar and just generally
trying to fill 8 hours of TV time.
You imagine someone in their ear going, do improv.
Yeah.
Make shit up. And just like wandering around at the campsite going, let's go work behind the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
But to suddenly find yourself in the position where you're going to have your best not pole position, but best start of your career, and it just be cancelled out because we can't build a good track.
Yeah, exactly.
Gutted.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It is rough. The rest of the season, though, so it was 8-point scoring finishes. There were 3 non-scores, 4 DNFs, and the 3 DNSs at the start that he was ruled out of. He finished the season at 19th place with 40 points. So it's a slow progression, but it's ticking in the right direction.
It's a curve, not a steep curve like we see.
No, it's a slow burn, and he's clearly, as we will get to over the next few years, he's been a slow burn to reach the point he's at now.
Aye, but like 10 races in that season with no points.
Yeah,
potentially he could have been a lot higher.
Yes, certainly.
Maybe scrapping top 10, which people really would have stood up and noticed.
Yeah.
But not to be.
No, not to be, but people did notice, and that's the nice thing here.
People did start to take notice, yeah.
So after finishing 19th with those 40 points, Remy joined the SAG racing team in 2019, which meant he was finally riding the Kalex chassis.
Yes.
Which is, as we know now, the dominant chassis in Moto2.
Yep.
But there was the Kalex Suter battle in the early 2010s for a while, which was fun. But after Marc Marquez, Kalex have just, I think, won it every single time.
I believe so.
KTM never did it. Speed Up haven't done it.
No, they've come close.
Yeah, KTM came close on a couple of occasions, but
no, I don't believe they've ever won it.
So now he was really on the chassis to be on, and now it was time to see what he could do. And he improved again, Steve. Over the season, scored 11 points. Scored points in 11 rounds, including his first podium, which is the 2nd place in Argentina. However, he also had 6 retirements, 1 did not start, and 1 non-score, which really were hampering him now.
He really has a 50-50 season, doesn't he? It's not like he has 1 or 2 crashes.
No, it's all
he has a huge chunk. What's that, 7, 8 races without points altogether across the season?
Yeah.
And let's say he took 5 points a race, 40 more points.
40 more points is massive when you,
That's
like
huge.
we say, he finished, 15th with 77 points that year.
That's a huge wodge of points.
Yeah, a massive wodge. Like, imagine if he'd scored those extra 40 points. Like, you're now going to slowly try and load the table, which is loading slower than I'd like, but we're getting there.
We'll fill that void, but let's, speculate he would have easily been inside the top 10.
You would at least hope so. So where are we looking here? Remy Gardner, 15th with 77 points. 40 points more would have put him on 117.
Yep.
Which would have bumped him up to 9th place ahead of Fabio Di Gianantonio.
There we are. Easily inside the top 10.
Yeah.
So it really does go to show this guy is just a 50-50 guy.
That's exactly
It's shaping up to be that. You look at the season so far, it's not just 1 or 2, it's a whole host of repair bills.
Yes.
So you really did, up until this point, you really had no idea what you're going to get.
Exactly that. So for 2020 then, he moved, he stayed with SAG Racing.
Yes.
Stayed with Moto2 to have his best Moto2 season to date.
Aye.
This was the truncated 2020 season, obviously.
This is the weird old thing.
The COVID-affected year where he had, Moto2 and Moto3 had 15 rounds.
Aye.
This time, Remy went on to score points in all but 4 of them.
It seems like the weird upset year just woke him up.
Yes. There were 2 non-scores and 2 did not start in that year. But 11 points finishes, so massive improvements. And he scored a win and 3 more podiums within those 11 points. So this is kind of, you go, wow, this is the year that Remy started to bring it all together.
Yeah, just this weird upset, like I said, just woke him up. And although everyone had been in the same boat, everyone was sort of thrown off the guard and all this jazz, all of a sudden he's the one that's come out and just shone.
Yeah, I sort of wonder whether the previous year when because I would be looking at 2019 and being like, right, I'm on a Calyx now. Now I can show what I can do. And you still crash 50% of the time. You're like, shit, I need to do something different now. Yeah. I'm realising that it's not just the bad bike. I need to change what I'm doing. And he started to do that in 2020.
Absolutely. Someone in that team probably sat him down and was like, look, your trouble is this. If you could bring home these points and not crash as much, you're golden. You will be where you want to be. You just need to give it a couple of seasons.
Yeah, certainly. And it worked, man. Like, it finished, has worked. That win, those 3 podiums and the 7 more points scoring finishes left him with 135 points, and he finished 6th overall. So this is now a big step in the right direction.
A very steep curve coming up.
Yeah, certainly. And this is where the curve is starting to really...
Yeah. It's not a steady slope. A nice, easy, gentle walk. All of a sudden, you're rock climbing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where he's at. And this year caught the attention of one Aki Ayo.
And what did it do for him?
Exactly, Steve. So he signed for Aki Ayo's Moto2 team for 2021. And 2021, without a doubt, was Remy's year.
Oh, absolutely, mate. Well, Aki Ayo's year.
Aki Ayo's year across the board, quite. He was successful from the start with the Aki Ayo squad. Across the season, he scored points in all but 1 race. This is the year that's been. We all know what happened here. He scored points in all but 1 race. 12 of those were podiums, and 5 of them were wins. That's nuts. Incredible.
That is nuts.
It would have been a properly dominant season for him that he easily would have cleared away and just gone into the distance. It hadn't been for just one single man getting in his way here.
Yeah.
The fly in the ointment.
And unfortunately, it's his teammate.
Yes, one Raul Fernandez. We spoke about him last week. He proved to be a real challenge for Remy in last year.
A proper push.
Yeah.
You know, if you're really challenging with someone racing toe-to-toe, it's not too bad, I guess, if it's not your teammate.
Exactly.
At least you can shut that garage door and just be like, oh, fuck it.
And you know you've got the entire team at your back. If you are competing and your teammate is sort of like out of the running for the championship now, you know that generally the entire team is going to be focused on you. Yeah. But when you're battling with your teammate, it must make a divide in the garage.
Oh, it has to. You know, there's no wall up.
No, exactly.
But there is going to be that split. Mm-hmm. You know, Raul's team are going to be solely around him.
Yeah.
But like you say, if Raul was nowhere near the championship and from the off, it looked like it was just going to be all Remy's, yes, they would be shoving more and more help at Remy. They would be happy to help.
Yeah.
Because they want that Constructors Championship. They want that team championship. You know, but when it's both your guys, you've got to be so professional.
Yes.
But at the same time, far more competitive.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because all of a sudden you've got the option of a clean sweep. So hard. But again, does it have a psychological effect where you look over and see your rival is sat right next to you on the same machine, and you know the only person that's going to beat him is yourself?
Yeah, exactly. So you've got to find it within yourself to do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, over the season, we said this last week, Steve, Raul was arguably the faster of the two guys.
Yeah, I think he was.
It would be hard to argue otherwise, I think. Raul took 8 wins and 4 more podiums across the year, but was more crashy.
He was
Remy's
more crashy.
Consistency. It's amazing to think after going back through Remy's career, you now go, Remy was the guy that was consistent enough to win the title.
It was a sudden switch.
Amazing, wasn't it? Yeah. I don't know whether that's something to do with Aki Ayo, whether it's something to do with that squad, whether it was a switch in his brain that was happened anyway, but something happened that made him go, I can win and I can stay on the bike, and that's how to win a title. And he went and fucking did it.
He just stormed it. Well, he didn't storm it, but he just choked it, just throttled the bitch.
Yeah, quite. I mean, he probably, to be fair, would have stormed it if it hadn't been for Raul Fernandez.
Yeah. He's just so close. And that one non-point score, arguably, all right, you may have only, let's say he finished first and second, with Raul in second, may have only been 5 points. 5 points is 5 points.
Well, 5 points is a huge amount when you consider he won the championship by 4 points.
Exactly.
He scored 311 points to Raul's 307.
That's nuts.
So it's mad. But then when you look at what happened beneath them there, in third place was Marco Bezzecchi with 214 points. He was nearly 100 points shy.
That's a huge jump.
So it just shows how dominant that pairing was. And
just how good that squad is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that squad this year. Now we know both these guys are moved.
Yeah, what is it? Augusto Fernandez and Pedro Acosta.
Yeah, so it will be interesting. Definitely be keeping an eye on it, because if these guys come through and have similar results, it's a mixture of both riders and teams.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, if these guys are not getting the results, it's mainly the team, or mainly the riders. And we're seeing what the team could do.
Yeah.
But I'm just interested to see him this year coming.
Yeah, so this year, obviously, he joins for 2022. He's in MotoGP with Tech 3 KTM alongside his teammate and a title rival, Raul Fernandez.
They must be bored of each other by now.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Yeah, like, we've just fought for a fucking title, bro. I'm bored of your face. Let's not do this anymore.
I think this could solidify a friendship, though. If they're coming out, they're having similar problems, let's say.
Yes, that's fair.
Issues, and all of a sudden, these guys who were forced into close quarters last year, fighting for the title, all of a sudden find themselves having the same issues, same conundrums. What's the easiest way to sort those out? Work together.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, even if there is any rivalry there, which we saw a few flashes of last year.
Yes, quite.
And a few handbags, all of a sudden they've got to work together to improve their machines, improve their MotoGP skills.
Yeah.
It's either going to solidify a friendship or break them.
Yes.
I don't think there's going to be any middle ground here.
No, we'll find out soon enough.
All right.
Overall, Remy's progression feels pretty slow. Up until this point, but it was always in the right direction. We just go back and look through what he did in Moto2.
Yeah.
We've just done it, but I'm just going to recap his finishing positions again here. So 2016, he finished the season 26th overall with 8 points. 2017, he's finishing 21st overall with 23 points. 2018, 40 points, 19th overall. 2019, 77 points, 15th overall. 2020, it was 6th overall with 135 points. And then 2021, he goes and wins the title with 311 points. So the progression is always in the right direction for him.
It was a fast step up.
It was a big jump from 2019 to winning the title in 2021.
It's all of a sudden ditching those non-scores has just really turned it on.
Massively.
He slowed it down for the 1 year, was very crashy up until that point.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden has just dominated as soon as he stopped crashing.
Because as soon as he stopped crashing, which is pretty much that 2020 year, he scored 3 podiums and a win.
Yeah.
So he clearly had this pace.
It was always there.
Couldn't get to the end of the race.
Just very Crutchlow-esque.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. Has got race-winning pace, but is on the ragged edge to get it.
Yeah, be it machinery, whatever the reasons were before that, it was a very slow burn. Then all of a sudden, something clicked.
Yeah, certainly.
Something happened. Be it, I don't know, say for instance, he went and saw one of these rider coaches.
Yeah, potentially.
And they've just highlighted an issue which he could work on with the team. All of a sudden, he's just turned that thing on.
Yeah.
And just looks unstoppable. So, a very, very strong team there next year in Tech 3.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm expecting from Remy next year, because part of me thinks, looking at that progression, it took him, did a bit of an Alex Marquez. It took him a long time to get to grips with Moto2. Took a long time to get there. And Alex Marquez had a pretty good, to be fair, rookie season in MotoGP.
Oh, he did. I don't know. I'm thinking along similar lines. I'm not expecting great things. I'm expecting maybe busting the top 10 a couple of times.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I think a handful of top 10s over the season will be a really good result for him. He's not going to have an Alex Marquez year. He's not going to go and score a couple of podiums.
I don't think
unless
so.
there's some very strange races that happen. But, if he can grab a handful of top 10s over the year, then that's looking good. Especially when we're looking at the armada of 8 Ducatis, which is ruining everyone's predictions here because we're all like, top 10s? Shit, 8 of them could be Ducati.
Literally. They could all be Ducati. And when we just try to work out who the hell the other two are going to be.
Exactly.
It's going to be a very strange year. I just want to see him not too crashy.
Yeah.
A steady progress through the year. I'm not expecting anything outrageous on the first race out of Qatar.
It also depends what KTM bring, doesn't it?
Yeah, if they deliver on their promises, what they could bring to the party could be a completely different beast.
Yeah.
I don't know. Finish each race, score some points, have mid-pack results.
Yeah, I think that's what we have. A Luca Marini type year. I think if he has a year
that's a good way of putting it.
Luca Marini's year last year, I think it would have been a good year for him.
That is a good way of putting it. Very Luca. Do a Luca.
I don't think he's going to beat his teammate. I think Ralph Fernandez is going to beat him over the year.
I think it'll be very close. I think we're going to see another mini championship for top dog in this team.
Yeah.
I think they'll be next to each other. Who will be on top? I don't want to say at this point. Don't want to speculate. But
that's the point of the show, Steve. All we do is sit and speculate.
I'll go with Remy then.
Okay, I'm going
I just think having that championship boost, that little psychological edge, could do it.
Okay, we'll see what happens. We'll cover this probably. We're going to do a prediction show before the season starts anyway.
Hokey dokey.
So we'll come back to it in detail then.
Righto.
That's pretty much the end of our introduction to Remy Gardner there.
It is, buddy.
We have one quick thing to cover, Steve, before we end the show. I put this in the question segment. It's not really a question, but I didn't know where else to put it, so we're going to fire at it now.
Let's go for
it. Callum, who is a member of our Facebook group, a very active member, and has been from the start, has kindly offered to run a sort of prediction league for us this year. Yeah. Where we are going to be... So this isn't just Steve and I doing a prediction show. You guys can all get involved with this.
Yeah, this is your time to... I don't know. Beat us. Beat each other.
Yeah, beat each other.
Get some bragging rights.
So we've got 11 things to be predicted here across the year. It's MotoGP Champion, Moto2 Champion, Moto3 Champion, MotoE Champion. There's most MotoGP wins, Moto2 wins, and most Moto3 wins, most MotoE wins. We also have the most MotoGP DNFs, Rookie of the Year for MotoGP, and GP Constructor winner. So that thread is in the Facebook group. I think I'll pin it to the top of the Facebook group, so it's very easy to find, actually. So you go in there, leave your comments. We're going to collate all that together, and then at the end of the year, we'll give the winners a shout-out, probably. I have entered, and I'm going to give you my answers now for what I've gone through, just so they're set in stone. They're already there in that Facebook thread, but I'm picking Steve. Again, you and I are going to dive more into this in our prediction show, but I am picking Bagnaia for my GP champion. I'm feeling Aaron Canet for my Moto2 champion. Now he's jumping on a Calyx. Dennis Foggia, I think, is going to be my Moto3 champ. And Jordi Torres, I think, is hard to overlook for MotoE. Most MotoGP wins, I think, is going to go to Pecco Bagnaia. I think Sam Lowes is going to take the most Moto2 wins.
I think you could be right on that one.
Because we know from Sam Lowes, he's either going to crash or win. Pretty much covers it with him a lot of the time. And I just think that a huge amount of the Moto2 field has just gone. So it's going to be quite hard for any of these guys to just go out and win 10 races. Like, that's probably not going to happen this year.
That is very true.
I think Dennis Foggia is going to take the most Moto3 wins, and I think Jordi Torres is going to take the most MotoE wins. For MotoGP DNFs, I'm feeling Darren Binder.
Yeah, I'm feeling Darren Binder as well.
I don't want to be that guy, but I think it's going to be Darren Binder. I think Rookie of the Year is going to be Marco Bezzecchi. I ummed over this for a while because I think probably the two KTM boys, if they want equal machinery to him, would have an advantage. But I also think that a Ducati GP21 is reliably going to be more consistent.
I think so.
Across the season than the KTM. And then my GP Constructor is going to be Ducati.
Yeah.
That's my prediction there. I've got a whole list here for you, Steve, that hasn't been filled in yet, but if you have not had time to think about that, we don't have to go through that now.
I've got pretty much the same, so I'll blast mine out.
Okay.
I've only got a couple of differences. So, MotoGP champion, Bagnaia.
Okay.
I'm feeling Canet as well.
Yeah, I'm feeling very pro-Canet this year.
I don't know why. I like the guy, and I feel like he's been there and progressed enough to suddenly, show those tattoos really off.
Yeah, exactly. He's the guy, I've said this before, he's the rider I love to hate.
Yeah, same
I don't
here.
particularly like him, but I really want to see him do well.
I do really like him. He scares me a little bit with that little tash and tattoos, but I think that's the appeal.
See, I think that's why I don't really like him. I feel a bit emasculated.
Really?
Yeah, he scares me.
I like him. I like him. Yep. Foggia.
You feeling Foggia for Moto3 as well? I just think after such a dominant year, it would be hard to look past.
I think so. My only real difference is MotoE Champion, and I'm going Granado.
Okay. Okay.
Most MotoGP wins, I've had to give this a lot of thought. I don't think it's going to be Bagnaia.
Ooh, okay.
I think it's going to be Fabio.
You think it's going to be Quartararo?
Yeah.
So you think Quartararo's going to win more races, but the bad weekends are going to be bad enough that he can't take the title?
Yeah, I just think that Ducati's going to be better, that the Yamaha's going to be playing catch-up.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
But then saying that, we don't really know what Yamaha's bringing into the field yet.
No, we don't know till testing, which is why it's fun to do this now.
Yeah.
Because we haven't got a fucking clue.
No, this is where we're completely wrong. None of this will work here right.
We're wrong every year. See, I predicted Alex Rins for my title winner last year.
Let's not go back to last year. It was a real shower shit from both of us. MotoGP, Moto2 wins. Yeah, lows.
You're going to sound lows on that one.
Again, Moto3 wins. Foggia.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to be to get that title. Granado again for MotoE wins.
Yeah.
DNFs, Binder.
Yeah.
It's got to be Binder. I
assume you're talking Darren Binder here.
Yes, yeah, Darren Binder. I was really torn on Rookie of the Year.
It's a tough one this year because it's a really good crop of rookies.
It
really
is
good crop.
A massive head of rookies. Mine boiled down to Remy and Bezzecchi.
Okay.
But I would just think Bezzecchi could have the edge.
I think it's the Ducati that's going to do it more than anything else.
I think it is literally that. And then Ducati is Constructors Champion. Yeah. I think with the 8 bikes on the grid.
Exactly. It's very
if you're
hard
going
to
against it, unless the stars align somewhere and we see like the two Mooney guys just nowhere, and that brings it down to 6.
Even so, you can't imagine it. Even with 6, they've got an advantage over every other factory.
Exactly. If you bet against it, I think you're insane.
Yeah.
Unless we are just going to see some weird year where...
Imagine this is where Aprilia with their 2 bikes go and win the Constructors' Championship.
Exactly.
You're like, whoa, what the fuck happened there?
With the way this racing series is, it wouldn't surprise me.
No, it's one of those, it would surprise me, but you'd look back on it and be like, yeah, that seems legit. Like, I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be disbelieving of it.
Yeah, I mean, we could be looking, you could throw devil's advocate in here. Most MotoGP wins could be a Leish.
Oh my God, imagine.
If that, with his form last year, if he could, that Aprilia could improve.
To be fair, it could be a weird year. We've seen these weird years. The 2016 year, where we had
11
winners? 10 on the bounce, was it?
I think it was something like 10 on the bounce.
Or 9 on the bounce. I can't remember, but it was a huge... And I think Marc Marquez had the most wins that year with 4 or something.
Yeah.
But there's no reason actually in this universe that we're creating now from our own minds that Aprilia could go and be a good force, win 4 races, but be shit everywhere else and not get anywhere near the title. But no one else goes and wins 4 races. No,
that all of a sudden you've got a Constructors' Championship. Yeah. So where the hell has that come from? But this is why this is one of my favourite parts of the year. Predicting
speculation.
This. Yeah, massive speculation. Because no one, not even the true pros in journalism surrounding MotoGP, can sit here and tell us they know exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, no one's got a fucking clue.
No, it is literally plucking answers out of the sky. And this is why, like this year, I think this is a great idea from Callum.
Yeah, because, I'm really bored. I love it.
Yeah, we've already seen several people getting involved on the Facebook group. Whatever you do, if you listen to this, we'll pin it online, we'll put it on social media. Come and get involved. Let's hear your opinions.
We'll pin it to the top of the group. I'll do it in a minute after we've done recording. I'll pin it to the top. So all you've got to do is come find the group and it'll be the first comment the first thread up there. And then that will be collected. We'll keep track of who said what in the Google Doc somewhere.
Exactly.
And then we will tally up. I don't really know how we're going to do points for this. So is it 1 point for everyone you get right? And then it's just best of 11 points?
We'll sit down and work it out during the year. I think
well, let's work it out before the year starts, just to make this fair for everyone.
Just so
everyone's in on this at 1 point.
It's always get the answers in by the 27th, Callum said.
Yeah, so that's just over a month from now.
Yeah, so we've got plenty of time. We'll come up with the points scoring system.
And we'll do some testing by then, actually. So the sensible ones among us, Steve, you and I have fucked this.
We have. We should have waited.
Yeah, we should have waited till after testing. But those of you who are sensible out there could wait to testing before you make your decisions. But then if you make your decision based on testing, you're going to pick Maverick Vinales for most wins.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
he's just going to storm.
A champion, and at that point, you have to pick Aprilia for Constructor Champion.
Exactly. So you could get him completely wrong. And plus the fact, we have an edit button.
But once it's live, it's a bit of a chore to then go edit, take it down, edit it, put it back up in its edited form. Yeah. Well, I'm sure there is enough now audio of us on the internet saying every MotoGP rider's name, and we probably could cobble that together, cassette boy style. That would be a fucking mission, and I'm not committing to that.
3 weeks later, we've got a fully edited show.
And there's me not having slept, like properly neurotic.
Putting out some crazy answers. Yeah. Who's going to be this year's MotoGP champion? Wait, Ray!
Yeah, exactly. Johnny Ray.
Just on some caffeine buzz. Tim, slow down.
I just need to keep talking or I think I might die.
Hasn't blinked for 17 days.
Yeah, like a MotoGP rider at this point, mate.
Yeah, literally. Oh, dear.
So, yeah, guys, come into the Facebook group and you will find that pinned there and, get involved. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
it's just going to be another fun one. This will just be us. This is going to be obviously completely separate from the Fantasy League. This is just put your answers in once. There's no changing it, no fucking about with it throughout the year. And then at the end of the year, once we've all forgotten we've done it, we'll blow off the dust from the document, the Google Doc, and we'll go through and see who wins.
Yeah, best of luck.
Yes, good luck, everyone. And that's pretty much the end of the show, Steve.
That's pretty much us, mate.
So, guys, if you've got anything you want to say to us, anything for Correction Corner, anything at all, you can get hold of us on.
We are For the Love of MotoGP, and you can find us on Instagram and Twitter, or come and join the Facebook page. We've had a few people join this week.
Yeah, it's ticking up again.
We're up to 130 now, which is pretty cool. So come and get involved.
It's a nice place. It's full of nice... The internet's a very toxic place, Steve.
It is a harsh environment.
But everyone has been lovely in this Facebook group.
Yeah,
I'm very on board. I've only had to kick one person out.
Oh, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, I don't think they were being a prick, though. I think they were just spamming.
I think they were just... what was it? Not advertised, but basically just dropping random stuff in without getting involved.
Yeah.
So it was just... They've been there a while, just sat in the background, but I think it was just waiting for the opportunity to drop some crazy shit in. So we booted that twat out.
Yeah, but everyone else has been lovely.
Yeah, you're all great. We love you. Especially like when people start putting hench pictures of... Garrett Gertloff in there.
Jesus Christ, those pictures of Garrett Gertloff that appeared in there today.
Yeah, Anne was very happy.
Yes, very much so. As were we all, Steve, to be fair. That man is a fine specimen of a human being.
It's sickening.
Oh, mate. But it shows you what hard work can do. Because he looks, it's that same body shape as Scott Redding. When you look at him and you're like, have you ever eaten a doner kebab? You've clearly you've given up all the best things in life.
Yeah, they don't touch alcohol. I saw a tweet from Scott Redding once that said, like, first alcoholic drink in 18 months.
Yeah, I can't imagine. 18 hours and I'm like, right, where's the next beer coming from? I'm getting a bit...
That long?
Yeah, I'm clucking at that point, mate.
he's having come down twitches.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I've got a fucking banging headache. I feel a bit sick. Get me a beer.
Need to pick myself up. But yeah, it's a great place to be. Come and get involved. Join in the chat. Drop your own questions. Drop anything in there MotoGP related. Come and get involved. It's a nice place to be.
Certainly.
Or if you got something for Correction Corner and you don't want to drop it in there, you can email us at fortheloveofmotogp@gmail.com.
There we go. Happy days. You got that bang on, Steve. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I'm trying. Every week I could just hear George in the background. Come on, fuck it. Fuck it,
Steve. You can. I can't wait to email.
And every week I'm like, yes, got one on him. One day I'm going to go on a spell, so it's going to be like a month of getting it wrong.
That tends to be how it goes, Steve. You tend to be fine for 3 or 4 months, and then just for 3 or 4 weeks in a row, it just all goes tits up.
Yeah, that's how my brain works. Just have a brain fart.
So that's pretty much the end of the show, guys. Remember, if you do want to help us out and you want smooth, fine-smelling testicles, head over to manscaped.com and use MotoGP for 20% off and free shipping. And until next week, guys, stay safe, look after each other, and we will speak to you soon. Goodbye.
Take care, guys.
Music is by Andrew Greenwood. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.